Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Is Sidwell back in Port Charles to target Sasha and her child? General Hospital spoilers claim that Jen Sidwell is already aware of Sasha Gilmore Corbin's pregnancy. He recently heard her pray for her pregnancy and baby at church. Now that he's returned, no one has taken the time to inform Sasha of the worrisome news. Jason Morgan might use this to justify why he believes he needs to be Sasha's protector, something he would definitely do even if she wasn't pregnant with Michael Corinthos' baby. Police Commissioner Anna Devane is aware that Sidwell is in town, and she has personally met with him, as has Mayor Laura Collins. While they speculate whether he is coming to harm Lucky Spencer, Anna and Jason, or possibly Sonny Corinthos, no one is concerned about Sasha at all. They believe the situation is solved. Oh, are they mistaken? General Hospital spoilers: diamonds are a guy's best friend. Sidwell works in the diamond import company. Illegal imports, specifically, and he's now eyeing Port Charles as the next target for his criminal enterprise. Sidwell's previous visit to Port Chuck went unnoticed. He focused on Sasha since she was Holly Sutton's daughter, and he knew Holly had stolen his valuable jewelry. Holly handed them over in exchange for her daughter's safety, but Jason still had to rush to find her in a warehouse before setting it ablaze with a bomb in just a few minutes. As a result, everyone believes that is an issue of the past and that Sasha was simply collateral damage in Sidwell's now-resolved struggle against Holly. According to GH spoilers, a homecoming is in order. There could be no better cause for Holly and Robert Scorpio to return to Port Charles. After all, this extended absence is not what anyone would anticipate from the district attorney. Furthermore, the fans are interested in learning what happened during their absence. Will Holly and Robert be able to reconcile, or did their time apart lead them to conclude that they are no longer in love with each other as the persons they are today? Regardless, they're going to become grandparents, which will undoubtedly make them both happy, but will the news of Sidwell's return to town bring them home? General Hospital spoilers: Jason is already chomping at the bit. Anna did her best to persuade Jason not to pursue Sidwell, but Stone Cold isn't going to listen. When has that worked before? Anna's pep words aren't very effective with him, but he does respect her. Still, he will do whatever he believes is necessary. Sidwell hasn't attacked anyone yet, but Jason and others believe he was behind the explosive device left in Sonny's penthouse apartment. If Jason discovers this, will he take him out, and what will Robert and Anna do, if anything? Will they turn their cheek for Sasha's sake, believing that her baby is his kid and that she will benefit from Jason's continual protection? Jason and Tracy's showdown: Ava's bad news. Trina Robinson will have some terrible news for Ava Jerome when the commercial realtor contacted. There will still be no bidder for Ava's second gallery space, but Trina will offer encouragement. Ava will also question Trina about why she has stopped seeing Kai Taylor at GH, prompting Trina to realize she was not being that helpful. However, it appears like Kai will finally meet with Trina to apologize for taking his wrath out on her and pushing her away. While Trina and Kai bond, Christina Corinthos Davis will catch Ava attempting to pull a quick one. Ava's plot is going to fail, and it appears that her attempt to spend more time with Avery Corinthos will not go as planned. Carly Spencer will then interrogate Nina Reeves about her willingness to play dirty against Drew Quartermaine. Despite Carly's doubts, she may finalize her partnership with Nina soon. As Carly and Nina file their split motion for Drew and Willow Corinthos, Martin Gray will meet with Willow and question her commitment to the divorce. Willow will have mixed feelings because she still loves Michael Corinthos and their family, but she has also fallen deeply for Drew. Other GH spoilers state that Jocelyn Jacks will apologize, so we'll see if Willow or someone else receives it. Elizabeth Baldwin will also receive a warning on GH, indicating that Rick Lansing is concerned about Cyrus Renaud and the threat he poses. Cyrus is clearly planning against Elizabeth, and our predictions indicate that she will get into some difficulty in the coming episodes. Lucky Spencer may have to come to Liz's rescue in the near future. Sasha Gilmore Corbin will stroll into a circumstance that enrages her. Felicia Scorpio appears to be summoning Sasha without informing her that Cody Bell will be present at the restaurant, prompting Sasha to lash out. Sasha clearly wants to live her own life free of the baby daddy's pestering and grilling, so she'll give an angry reminder of where she stands. After Jason Morgan returns from Baden-Baden, he will face Tracy Quartermaine in a furious confrontation. Tracy will provide updates on Drew's efforts to spread the news that Jason is the father of Sasha's pregnant child. Jason will question how the chatter arose and why Tracy would believe Drew in the first place. Tracy may eventually come to feel Jason is not the biological father, and she may conclude that Michael is the father instead. According to General Hospital spoilers, Jason will be involved in more drama as a result of Sasha's pregnancy, so keep an eye out for any additional sticky circumstances coming up. General Hospital preview: how far will Nina go to keep Drew and Willow apart? Plus, Jason stands up for his son. Jason is coping with a slew of kid concerns in the latest General Hospital promo, as Cody's rumor refuses to die. Is Nina prepared to risk losing her daughter to keep Willow away from Drew? Cody, who hasn't learned his lesson about spreading rumors about Sasha, can't stop talking about him during a supper with Felicia and his cousin at the Port Charles Grill. When Jason enters, Cody calls him a slimeball and demands that he confirm Sasha's kid is his. Will Jason acknowledge to being the baby's father in order to protect Michael and Sasha's secret? Martin is nearby, conducting a business meeting with Nina and Willow, who are taken aback by Cody's claims. Blink and you'll miss him across the restaurant, but Cyrus is working as a busboy in the background, and the Digitalis killer can't take this news well. That's not the least of Jason's issues this week, as Rocco is heard saying, "I think I did something I shouldn't have." Could Rocco be informing Danny that the PCPD suspected Cyrus of killing Sam? Jason shouts, "Get your hand off my son!" Finally, Nina is so determined to separate Willow and Drew that she has formed an alliance with Carly. However, it looks she is finally about to follow Ava and Curtis' advice and tell Willow why she understands her daughter's feelings for Drew. Will Nina expose her own love/hate relationship with the congressman? General Hospital spoilers: bad Willow emerges as she discovers Drew's true colors. Willow Corinthos put everything on the line to be with Drew Quartermaine. She abandoned her marriage, lost friends, and many people's respect by leaving her husband, Michael Corinthos, to pursue a relationship with Drew after having an affair with him. Willow is bound to feel as if she threw up all she loved for nothing when she discovers who Drew truly is, a slimy backstabber who is only looking after himself. Furthermore, Willow is unaware of Drew and Nina Reeves, Willow's mother, having a sexual relationship. That is likely to push her over the line, into becoming a baddie. Willow Corinthos has it in her to be awful. When you look at Willow, it's difficult to believe she's stayed a kind person all this time despite her awful decisions. Willow was raised by Harmony Miller, who was involved in a cult and did not always make the greatest decisions for her daughter. Harmony would have done anything, including killing, for the man she adored, Shiloh, the cult leader of Dawn of Day. Willow's morals may be brought into question, given she was raised by this mother. Not to mention, she is Nina's biological daughter, and her twin sister was the late Nellie Benson, who caused havoc in Port Charles for years. It was impossible to predict what Nellie would do to achieve her goals. Willow could very well follow in her twin sister's footsteps, proving that they aren't so different, and become a villain when she sees Drew isn't a decent person who deserves punishment. Willow Corinthos goes after Drew Quartermaine. Willow, like her twin sister Nellie, goes on a hazardous vengeance plot against Drew for seducing her and destroying her marriage to Michael. Watching Drew get his just desserts from Willow would be entertaining, for hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Willow will go after him personally and professionally, and she may even team up with Curtis Ashford. Bad Willow is uncharted area, which we would love to see. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you think Willow will turn bad? Do you think Willow will go after Drew after she discovers his true colors? How will Willow exact her revenge? The air within the Quartermaine home was thick with the kind of anxiety that only comes when secrets are about to be revealed. Whispers moved faster than the wind in Port Charles, and some things had a habit of showing themselves at the worst conceivable times. Rocco Falconeri never imagined that this moment would arrive so quickly. He had spent years idolizing his father, seeing Dante Falconeri as the type of man who always did the right thing and stood up for justice at all costs. But what he was about to find would fundamentally alter that belief. A simple twist of fate was about to reveal a long-buried truth, one that would send Dante reeling, Brooklyn Quartermaine scrambling, and Lois Cerullo feverishly attempting to preserve control of the story. Finally, everything Rocco believed he knew about his family was turned upside down. A son's unexpected discovery. It all started with an accident, being in the wrong place at the exact right time. Rocco had never been the type of child who went looking for trouble. He had grown up knowing that Port Charles was full of secrets, but he never anticipated that one of the most important would involve him directly. Yet there he was, held in place in the Quartermain Estate's hallway, overhearing a discussion he was never supposed to hear. Lois Cerullo's voice was harsh and urgent as she spoke quietly to someone on the other end of the phone. "We had to do what was best for the baby," she argued, her voice heavy with the weight of past decisions that had come back to haunt her. Dante never had to know. Brooklyn never had to know. It was better this way. Rocco felt his breath constrict in his throat. A baby? A secret? He took a hesitant step back, his thoughts whirling. Lois continued to speak, each sentence eroding away at the foundation of what he believed he knew. Brooklyn gave birth to Dante's kid. Then she gave him away. And Lois had been the genius behind everything. Dante's world comes crashing down. Rocco had always taken pride in being mature for his age and understanding how to remain calm in the face of adversity. But this was something else entirely. By the time he confronted Dante with what he had overheard, the tempest within him had reached a breaking point. "You lied to me." His tone was too cool, which made Dante's stomach sink. "What are you talking about?" Dante inquired, perplexed by the intensity in his son's gaze. Rocco clenched his hands. "I overheard Lois. I know everything." Dante's blood became chilly. He knew without more explanation that his son had discovered something he was never meant to know. But before he could react, before he could try to piece things together on his own, Rocco administered the decisive blow. "Dad, Brooklyn had your baby. And she gave him away." The words were like a gunshot to Dante's chest. For a long time, he couldn't breathe. He could not think. He could barely process what his kid had just said. "That's not possible," he said, shaking his head. No. Brooklyn would have informed me." But as he spoke, skepticism crept into his voice. "Will she have? Would Lois have allowed it? If he had another child, what impact would this have on everything he has built? Brooklyn's guilt." Brooklyn has never considered herself a liar. She'd spent years trying to do the right thing and make amends for her previous errors. But as she stood face to face with Dante, seeing the betrayal in his eyes, she realized there was no way to explain herself without sounding like an excuse. "I didn't know," she replied gently. "I swear to you, Dante. I didn't know." Dante remained silent for a long time, his jaw hard as he observed her. "Then explain it to me," he finally responded, his voice unsettlingly calm. "Because my son just told me that you gave birth to my child, and I need to hear from you how that happened without you knowing." Brooklyn swallowed hard. "I was young. I was afraid. And my mother," she broke off, knowing that no matter what she said next, Dante's world had just been shattered. Lois had organized everything. She had persuaded Brooklyn that it was for the best, that notifying Dante would make no difference, and that the boy deserved a life away from the chaos of Port Charles. And Brooklyn believed her. Years later, that decision had returned to haunt her in the worst possible way. The search for truth, but the largest question remained. Where was the youngster now? Rocco had heard just enough to realize that Lois was not as clueless as she claimed. "She knows where he is," Rocco said Dante later, his voice fraught with frustration. "She's always known." Dante didn't doubt it. Not for 1 second. And if Lois thought she could keep this a secret much longer, she was about to discover how incorrect she was. The search was on. Whatever occurred next, Dante was determined to find his son. Charles would never be the same again. And, in the process, would have to determine what to do with the people who had deceived him, especially Brooklyn, and Lois would have to account for her dishonesty from him for years. Rocco would have to accept the fact that his family was considerably more difficult than he had anticipated. Another name started appearing. And Giovanni Gio Palmieri. Dante would have to come to terms with the notion that he had missed years with a son he never knew existed. Of the puzzle? But was Dante ready for what came next? And before the dust could settle, the truth had to be revealed. and Port Charles was about to be shook to its foundations. Spoilers, Cyrus prepares Brad to be his next victim. According to General Hospital spoilers, Brad Cooper may be about to fall into Cyrus Renault's fatal hands. Brad observed Cyrus attempt to enter General Hospital and yelled at him, ordering him to leave and telling him that Dr. Portia Robinson had barred him from the hospital. Cyrus was furious, but relented after Brad threatened to contact security and have him removed out. Cyrus doesn't take it well when someone thwarts his intentions, and he would probably go for Brad next. Brad Cooper may be Cyrus's next victim in his mercy killings. Cyrus Renault arranges for Brad Cooper to be attacked. Cyrus has numerous resources and might arrange for Brad to be attacked in a dark alley or in the General Hospital parking lot. He could make it appear to be a hate crime or a random incident in order to avoid being implicated. Brad is brought to General Hospital unconscious, and his ex-husband, Lucas Jones, is stunned. Brad is transported to the operating room, and his life is on the line. Cyrus Renault sneaks into GH to finish Brad Cooper off. Brad does survive, much to Cyrus' dismay, but he was expecting this setback. Cyrus knew that Dr. Isaiah Gannon had injected the antidote for Digitalis to rescue Michael Corinthos, so he had to find another way to kill Brad. He would sneak into the hospital, like he had done numerous times. He could smother him with a pillow, but more likely, he would administer a different medicine to him, causing him to suffer a setback. Perhaps Isaiah will inadvertently administer the antidote to Brad, believing he is experiencing cardiac arrest as a result of his Digitalis dosage, causing even more problems. This would easily cause Brad to succumb to his injuries, maybe ending his life or putting him in a coma. Lucas Jones is horrified by Brad Cooper's health, despite the fact that they are divorced. Lucas still cares for Brad, and he'll understand just how much. Brad's life would be in danger, prompting Lucas to reconsider his position and decide that he wants to give Brad another chance if he survives. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you think Cyrus will go after Brad next? Will Brad survive Cyrus' fatal attack? Will Lucas reassess his love for Brad now that his life is in danger? Josh Kelly has a new role on General Hospital, and we have all the details. Josh Kelly's fans enjoy watching him bring Cody to life on General Hospital every weekday, and they will now be able to see him portray a completely different character. The ABC actor will appear as a guest on CBS NCIS Origins tonight. In the Monday, February 10th episode titled Monsoon, the team, with a little help from Kelly's character, investigates the horrible murder of a veteran who fell on hard things after serving in Vietnam, and their current case forces Frank to reflect on his own post-war problems. In addition, Gibbs is expected to consider a new direction going ahead. Watch a sneak peek sequence from the forthcoming episode in which Kelly's character presents the team with critical proof and says, "How's that for interagency cooperation?" For those who are unaware, Kelly has extensive military experience. He served as an Army Ranger for 3 tours in Afghanistan and 1 in Iraq, where he parachuted into the nation. In fact, during an appearance on his castmates' podcast, Maurice Benard's State of Mind, Kelly stated, "You can't experience those things without being affected. You learn how to deal with it. The way that I've coped with everything, basically, is humor." He went on to express how much acting has helped him and added, "I'm very pleased that I dove GH spoilers. Amanda Setton teases Chase's betrayal." General Hospital spoilers and updates show that Amanda Setton may have just revealed a major plot surprise. She hinted at a probable jaw-dropping betrayal by Harrison Chase in the coming weeks. Fans are well aware that Brooke Lynn is keeping a huge secret. She has failed to confess to Chase that she had a kid with Dante Falconeri when she was a teenager. She is not only keeping this information from Chase, but also from Dante himself. The narrative thickens as neither of them realizes that Lois Cerullo is aware of the truth, that their son, Giovanni Gio Palmieri, has reached adulthood. This tangled web of lies is sure to result in some dramatic twists and turns. Amanda Setton indicated in a recent interview that the tension between Dante and Brooke Lynn is just getting started, praising Dominic Zamprogna's ability and their on-screen chemistry. Amanda Setton stated that Chase could play a key part in revealing the truth about the adopted infant to Dante. We'll see how the story progresses, but the fact is that Dante is still in the dark. The major issue is, how will he discover the truth? Will Brooke Lynn or Chase finally break the news? Setton explained. However, Chase cannot reveal any secrets that he is unaware of. This implies that Chase will eventually discover that Brooke Lynn had Dante's child and must confront the consequences of that discovery. Interesting coincidence, or not? The chemistry between Dante and Chase is heating up, with the show's writers deftly emphasizing their growing friendship and teamwork. Chase has previously revealed to Dante that Cyrus Renaud is the primary suspect in Sam McCall's case, demonstrating that he is not exactly a secretive individual. Could this lead to a situation in which Chase finds it impossible to keep such a secret from Dante, disregarding Brooke Lynn's wishes and disclosing she had Dante's child over 2 decades ago? Regardless of how the story evolves, Chase appears to be dealing with the stunning news of the baby and the decision of whether or not to conceal it from Dante. Upcoming spoilers indicate that Dante is in for a surprise, so keep an eye out for predictions about his impending discovery and the accompanying drama. General Hospital spoilers, will Nina confess the truth? In this week's General Hospital spoilers, the tension is palpable. In this episode, Sasha lashes out at Cody, Jason intervenes to defend Danny, and Nina struggles to tell Willow the truth about her relationship with Drew. Cody may have apologized to Sasha for putting her business out on the street, but he's clearly still unhappy because they're related and can't be together. So, when out with Felicia and Sasha at the Port Charles Grill, he loses his composure at the sight of Jason. "Come on, slimeball," Cody exclaims, getting to his feet. "Say something. Sasha's baby is yours." But Jason doesn't even have a chance to respond to the accusation when Sasha leaps up and tosses her drink at Cody. "I think I did something I shouldn't have," Danny acknowledges. Could he be trying to prove Cyrus killed his mother? Because that could be really risky for the teenager. Everyone in Charlie's pub turns to look at the commotion as Jason arrives and yells, "Get your hands off my son!" Nina has been desperate to pull Willow away from Drew, believing that their relationship will damage her daughter's life. Willow, on the other hand, insists that she and Drew are in love and refuses to look at him differently. Nina could persuade Willow that Drew isn't the man she believes he is, but telling her daughter about her own involvement with him could jeopardize the relationship she has formed with her daughter. "I can understand why you would fall for Drew," Nina says to Willow at the Port Charles Grill. Because Willow, Port Charles had long been a town where secrets grew in the shadows, where danger lurked behind every well-dressed socialite and seductive smile. And if anyone had a flair for getting into trouble, it was Lucy Coe. She'd spent her life dancing on the verge of catastrophe, her ravenous curiosity and unrelenting charm driving her down routes she had no business taking. This time, though, she may have pushed her luck too far. Because in a world of duplicity and double-crossing, one incorrect move may cost Lucy more than her pride, it could cost her everything. A history of bad decisions. Lucy Coe was always a woman of paradoxes. Her life was a never-ending cycle of achievement, scandal, and self-inflicted calamity. She was fiercely independent yet attracted to complicated men, clever but prone to make rash decisions. Her romantic life alone was enough to fill a novel. She'd gone down the aisle more times than she could remember, always hoping that this time, with this man, would be different. But love had a weird way of escaping her, sliding through her fingers just when she thought she had everything under control. Her most recent loss had come at the hands of Martin Gray, a man she had truly loved but had lost owing to her own inability to resist old habits. A moment of weakness with her ex, Scott Baldwin, had broken what remained of their relationship, and Martin had no desire to give her another chance. For the first time in a long time, Lucy was genuinely alone. And if history had taught us anything, it was that a single Lucy with too much free time was a prescription for disaster. A new and dangerous distraction. Lucy focused on her work to distract herself from her personal failures. She juggled her work at Deception Cosmetics with her ever-expanding real estate business, constantly on the go and looking for the next great thing. And then there was Windmere. Selling that creepy, gothic estate had been no easy task, but Lucy had found the ideal buyer, or, at least, the most disturbing one. Sidwell was a man who sent shivers down the spines of everyone who crossed his way. He was the type of man Lucy should have been concerned about, wealthy, powerful, and heavily committed in illicit operations. Nonetheless, she felt herself pulled to him. It wasn't the first time she'd been drawn to danger, nor would it be the last. But, unlike her previous relationships, Sidwell was not the type of man to casually break her heart. He was the type of man who could get her killed. A rivalry with deadly consequences. Unfortunately for Lucy, she was not the only woman who had captured Sidwell's attention. Jordan Ashford, Port Charles's bright and intelligent deputy mayor, had her own motivations for being close to him. She was not interested in his attractiveness or fortune, she wanted justice. Sidwell was a predator, a man whose record of crimes went far beyond what most people knew. Jordan was determined to take him down. She had been studying him for weeks, carefully devising a strategy to gain his trust and amass enough evidence to eventually put him in jail. With Dr. Gannon willing to help her, she had the ideal team in place. The only problem? Lucy Coe. Because if there was one thing Lucy couldn't take, it was being ignored. A plan on the verge of collapse. Lucy was not blind. She could see how Sidwell looked at Jordan, and it drove her insane. She told herself it was simply business and that she didn't care if the dangerous criminal found her fascinating. But deep down, she knew better. Sidwell was a puzzle, a dark mystery that she couldn't help but want to answer. And if that meant entering Jordan's land, then be it. After all, Lucy had a habit of putting herself in situations where she didn't fit. And this time? It might be her biggest error yet. History repeats itself. Jordan was no fool. She had spent years apprehending criminals, learning how they operated and how to manipulate them into making mistakes. She had Sidwell just where she wanted him. What about Lucy? Lucy was a wild card. She had attempted a similar stunt years before when she got too close to Victor Cassadine. That had nearly ended in disaster, and yet here she was again, on the verge of making another fatal decision. Jordan's strategy relied on precision and playing the long game. If Lucy walked in and started pouring herself into the mix, she could ruin everything. Worse, she could put herself right in Sidwell's crosshairs. Because interference was the one thing a man like Sidwell would not accept. A dangerous turn. The breaking point arrived faster than everyone anticipated. Jordan had spent weeks deliberately joining Sidwell's circle and establishing herself as someone he could trust. The trap was almost prepared. And then Lucy made her move. Perhaps she believed she was being clever. Perhaps she thought she could outmaneuver Jordan and get Sidwell's attention for herself. Or, just maybe, she was playing a game she didn't quite comprehend. Whatever the reason, she quickly realized her error. Because Sidwell was not the type of man who enjoyed distractions. Lucy had just become his next target. The price of curiosity. Lucy was optimistic at first, thinking that her charm would win the day and that she could outplay Jordan and Sidwell. What happens next? She was looking into the hard, cruel eyes of a guy who had no qualms about making people disappear. Jordan had been correct all along. Lucy had miscalculated the situation and the stakes. And now it was too late. Sidwell had her right where he wanted her. She was mistaken to believe he would protect her from harm. The road ahead. Port Charles had seen plenty of drama over the years, but this was different. Lucy Coe had made many mistakes throughout her life, but this one? This one might cost her everything. Will Jordan be able to salvage her plan and save Lucy before it's too late? Or had Lucy finally found herself in a situation she couldn't get out of? Regardless, one thing was certain. The storm was coming. Lucy Coe was in for a long and risky ride. Jack Brennan and other recast General Hospital characters. Brennan is the most recent character to be recast. Can fans accept him? General Hospital fans had a terrible week following Charles Measure's departure as Jack Brennan. This isn't the first time a fresh actor has taken on a beloved role. Sometimes it simply takes some getting used to. Charles Measure made an excellent Brennan. He was popular for a variety of reasons, including his chemistry with Carly. But don't forget, Laura Wright is the fourth actress to perform the role. Sarah Joy Brown was the original Carly. Fans adored her for the 5 years she spent in Port Charles, and she won 3 Emmys. It was difficult to picture anybody else playing Sonny's wife, but Tamara Braun took over and made the role her own. Jennifer Bransford was billed as the next Carly, but fans did not warm to the actress, and she was fired after only a few months. Laura Wright stepped in and became the force to be reckoned with that we know and love today. ×3 The first Trina is largely forgotten because she appeared in only 3 episodes. Tiana Liu was the troublemaker Trina, who concealed condoms in Joss' backpack. Sydney Michaela joined GH as Trina, Joss' bestie who first fell for Spencer. Fans were outraged when she left the drama to focus on her college studies. Tabiana Ali stepped in during a significant Trina storyline and handled it admirably. She has more than held her own among her characters' ongoing drama. 3 main characters. It is an enormous duty to be the daughter of the great Luke and Laura. The Lulu persona originally appeared in 1994, and numerous young performers played it. Julie Berman played Leslie Liu, the Spencer's daughter, as a more mature character. She became an important part of GH and played the character when she fell in love with Dante. Berman was a popular favorite but quit the show after 8 years. Emmy Ryland played the new Lulu until she went into coma. Lulu just awoke and returned to Port Charles, with Alexa Havens performing the role. Thus far, so good. It takes some time to adjust to a new actor playing a beloved part. Fans liked Measure, so it's difficult to see Chris McKenna as Brennan. However, if given the opportunity, a new performer can easily become the new normal. Do you believe Chris will make Brennan his own? Please let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.